Hello girls, how are you class 7? How are you? We're gonna start today with the collection page number 288. You remember the story of Uprising. It was talking about the factory on fire, which was on fire, catching fire. Okay, let's read 288. Okay, let's start. The door opened and toward the crowd. Maybe it hadn't been locked after all. Maybe it was just the weight of the crowd pushing forward, pinning it shut. But it was too late to go back now. Flames were shooting across the path they'd just crossed, speeding across the oiled floor, licking up shirt waists and fabric scraps and wicker baskets. The air itself seemed to be on fire, flames living on fabric dust. So now they are describing the fire. How was the fire moving on? Okay, fire escape Yetta to Jacob. So you remember Yetta was with Jacob. They are trying to escape from the fire. She said fire escape, and it was so hot now that her words felt like flames themselves, painful on her tongue. No good, Jacob mumbled back. Doesn't go all the way to the ground, so not all the paths going to the ground. So they didn't head for the window near the air shaft where people were climbing out one at a time onto the rickety metal railing. What was left? Okay, so what is the meaning of rickety? Rickety, highlight rickety and write unsafe. Okay, metal railing means the barriers, which is made of metals or barriers. Okay, what was left? Green straight stairs, Jacob whispered. Those were back by the table where the fire had started, where it now burned the fiercest. The fiercest means the strongest. Now the fire is the strongest. But there was a partition wall blocking off the stairs and the elevator from the rest of the room. On a normal work day, that was where the guard sat. So the guard sat here beside the or behind the partition, inspecting purses. Okay, he is inspecting all the purses of the women and men and glaring at the girls as if he thought they were all thieves. Today, maybe the partition was enough to keep the fire away from the stairs. Okay, Yetta and Jacob raced on, skirting the flames, still pulling along historical, senseless workers who didn't seem to know where to go. They passed a desk where the bookkeeper, Miss Lipschutz, was shouting into the mouthpiece of telephone, "Please, somebody listen. Somebody's got to tell the ninth floor, hello, somebody, please." So she is shouting and calling someone. A spark, let's continue. A spark landed on the sleeve of Yetta's shirt waist. Okay, so you got it. Now Yetta's shirt waist is burning, and she watched in horror as it sputtered and shimmered and burned straight through. She could feel it singeing her skin. Okay, singe, what's the meaning of singe? If you singe something, you slightly burn it. So burn, singe means burn, and hair sleeves were singeing or burning. Jacob slapped his bare hand onto Yitta's sleeve, starving the flame. A dunk! What is the meaning of dank? It means thank you in the Yiddish language. So thank you, she said to him. Thank you, Yetta whispered. But there was no time for him to say you are welcome because they were at the doorway to the partition now, shoving their way behind it. No flames here. No flames. girls were still standing by the freight elevator door, the only elevator they were normally allowed to use. So, what is the meaning of a freight elevator? It is a place for transported the goods. Okay, they were pounding on the closed door like they thought that was their only chance. So all the girls were pounding or hitting on the closed door. Okay, it was so hot behind the partition that Yetta could barely breathe. Can people melt? She wondered in her mind. She saw wax dripping down from Sabbath candles, my life melting away. So only highlight two words, freed and bounding. Stairs! Jacob screamed at the girls by the elevator door. He jerked open the stairway door and it opened out, making another obstacle in the tiny vestibule. Okay, vestibule means hall. Hall. It is very tiny, means very narrow hall, and he jerked open the stairway. Jerk means like moved to open the stairway door. Okay, Yetta and Jacob shoved the girls through the doorway and scrambled in behind them. The stairway was airless and close and still hot, but there were no sparks flying through the air. Through the window in the stairwell, Yetta could see the workers scrambling down the fire escape. Teetering. Teetering means sway from side to side. Okay, sway from side to side precariously on the metal railings. Precariously means in the risky way. So, struggling past the metal shutters. Hurry! Yetta screamed at the girls around her. They were sobbing hysterically, clutching the railing, clutching each other. They were yammering away in the some language Yetta didn't recognize. So they were making repetitive, loud sounds, but in one language, but she doesn't understand their language. Or maybe it wasn't a language at all, just witless jabbering. Jabbering also means making loud sounds. Witless means stupid and foolish. Okay? Down, the fire, one of them managed to say, what if it is everywhere? There is no smoke coming from the down there. Yetta screamed at them, pointing at the landing below them. Go down to the ground, you will be safe. The flames are going up, not down, up. Okay? Let's continue page 290. 290. Yetta glanced up to the landing above her, remembering what the bookkeeper had been screaming into the phone. Somebody listen, somebody's got to tell that ninth floor. So she remembered that girl was telling or phoning another person. They didn't know when flight up on the ninth floor where 250 girls worked, so how many girls were worked there? 50 girls, okay? 250 girls where Yitta had worked before the strike, where Pila worked now up there. They had no idea. There was no inferno raging beneath them, eating up the air, climbing higher and higher and higher. Almost on their own, Yitta's feet had already started slapping down the stairs once she finally got the chattering girls moving, but now she stopped. Bila, she thought, my other friends, my sisters, my comrades, my union. Comrades mean friends. What are you doing? Jacob screamed, already 3 steps down. Somebody has to tell the ninth floor, she screamed back. I have to. She turned around and began clattering up the stairs. Okay, so